Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Ya Allah, this is a time of difficulty in the world. This is a time when a plague has found its way around the entire world. This is one of the first times that we've had to deal with something like this. Some of our friends have gotten ill. We ask you to intervene and cure them. We ask you to bring an end to the sickness and the illness that's been caused in this world. Bring health and vitality to all mankind. Bring back freedom from isolation. Bring us into that space where we can be with each other and truly understand each other and know each other's hearts. Allah, open up that part of us that can see you. Open up that part of us that can know you. Your light pervades all of existence. Allow us to be included within that light and allow us to see it and understand it. We know you are within us, Allah. Allow us to feel you more. Allow us to understand more the nature of reality, the nature of truth. Bring us to that place of hakikat, where man is intertwined with God, where man and Allah know each other. Allah, take us to that place. Bring us towards purity. Allow us to see with our inner eyes, hear with our inner ears, taste with our inner tongue, smell with our inner nose. Allow us to know reality. Take us over this ocean of illusion and allow us to be less attached to it. Break break that which binds us to the illusory nature of existence. Break what binds us to the pulls and the magnetisms and the hypnotisms of the world. Break what binds us to the world of praise and blame, to the world of blood ties. Allow us into that place of truth. Allah, do this for all of us, and do it now, Allah. Our longing for you is great. Ameen. There was a man who had written his biography, and it was a story of the great men he had met in his life, and he wanted to get it published. So he went around and collected money because it was expensive to publish a book. And finally, he raised all the money that was necessary to have the book published. But as he was about to begin and pay the publisher, a flood happened in the area. And he decided to take the money and to use it to help the victims of the flood. So after everything got better again, he started to raise money again to publish the book. And after a period of time, he finally raised the money. But this time, as he was about to pay the publisher, famine came over the land. And he decided it would be better to use the money to help the people who were suffering and didn't have food. This also passed, and he raised money again. Finally, he had enough money to publish the book, and he got it published. But the ones who truly know that the first two editions were the best editions of the book. And this is a lesson for us. And the lesson is that actions are more important than words. And we need to get involved in actions. We need to become doers. Doers in many, many different ways and in many, many different respects. We have to become doers as far as setting up an intention to know our Lord. You know, it is said by many of the wise ones that our Lord is inclined towards us by the way of our inclination towards him. So as our longing increases for him, his longing increases for us. So we need to increase our longing for reality. We need to increase our longing to know God. We need to spend time with the understanding that our Lord is our only solution. Our Lord is our only answer. Our Lord is the pinnacle and answer to all of our questions. And we have to stop looking in other places. We have to stop looking in the world for answers that can only be given to us by God. God is the one who created us. God is the one who will save us. This world will not save us. This world will consume us. This world will not bring us salvation. Only Allah can bring us salvation. So this takes a new kind of attitude in life. This takes a new perspective in life. I remember when I first met my teacher, Muhammad Rahim Bawa Muhaiyaddeen. And I was so excited about the opportunity to know him and the opportunity to hear him and the opportunity to be focused by him, that even though we lived about 75 miles from his residence, whenever we weren't close to him, our intention was to get back there as quickly as we could. And we ended up driving there on Tuesday and Thursday. And finally, he also made arrangements for us and gave us a place to stay on the weekends. So we would drive there on Tuesday, we would drive there on and return Tuesday, drive there Thursday, return Thursday, drive there Friday night, and then come back Sunday night. And I remember one Sunday evening, it was getting late, and Bawa was singing, and the place was really high, and I was ecstatic. And Bawa looked at me, and he said, "Do you have to go back home tonight?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Too bad." And that's exactly how I felt. Too bad. But if we can set our inclination, and if we can set our intention towards Allah, we will be with him all the time. We may not see him, we may not hear him, but our faith will tell us that he is near us. And our faith should tell us that he is near us. And we have to increase our faith so that we truly believe that he is near us. He is close to us at all times. He is intermingled with us at all times. He knows what we say and do at all times. So We need to clear ourselves of everything that is opposite to him. This is a world of opposites. There is right and there is wrong. There is good and there is evil. There is abundance and there is famine. And we drift through all of these things. We drift through the various vagaries of the world. Sometimes we are in abundance. Sometimes we are in famine. Sometimes we have everything that we need. And sometimes we feel like we are destitute. But in reality, perfection exists. And perfection exists at every moment because Allah exists at every moment. So it is our work to be able to see perfection. It is our work to be able to not focus on the ups and downs and the roller coaster ride of this world, but to be in the steady, serene, consistent consciousness of truth and of Allah, in the consistent resonance of reality. His resonance is all around us. His sound is all around us. His qualities are all around us. It is up to us to see them as we travel through this world and not be blind to them. Ibn Arabi and other great saints have said that the world shows you proof of Allah. The world shows you the existence of Allah. So every time we hear a bird sing, we should be reminded that Allah gave it voice. Every time we hear a dog bark, we should be reminded that Allah gave it voice. Every time we eat a watermelon, we should be reminded that Allah gave it sweetness. Every time we see something beautiful, we should understand that Allah gave it its beauty. And if we can keep an attitude that is like that, then we will create a barrier around ourselves that doesn't allow Satan or illusion to penetrate us. You know, everyone has veils that separate them from Allah, but instead of having veils that separate us from Allah, we need veils that separate us from illusion, that separate us from Satan, that separate us from that which is not real. So as we feel negative emotions, we have to bring back into our being the positive nature of Allah's qualities and feel those positive emotions and allow those positive emotions to overwhelm whatever negativity may come towards us. We create every instant through this instant. Now is all that exists. If we wander off into our imagination, we lose touch with now. We lose touch with our reality at this moment and our connection with Allah in this moment. The mind wishes to conjecture. The mind wishes to make up scenarios. The mind wishes to tell you how it can be later on and how things are going to turn out. There is no later on. There is now. And we have to take hold of ourselves now. We have to put ourselves in place now. We have to put ourselves in play with God now. There's no waiting. There's no tomorrow. There's only now. And if we can let go of tomorrow and let go of yesterday, we have taken away the power that the mind has over us. The mind doesn't dwell in the present. The mind can't contemplate now. But if we contemplate now, then a great shift occurs in our being. We are no longer under the push and pull of the illusory forces because we've become content. We are happy with what is going on now. A wise man was asked, "How can you tell a friend of God?" And his response was, "When he sits in the sun, he does not seek to sit in the shade. And when he sits in the shade, he does not seek to sit in the sun." He's content. He takes the situation that he's in and abides with it and is content with it. We need to find contentment in our situations. We need to find contentment now, not tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't going to happen. Tomorrow is always ahead of us, and it's always a fiction within the mind. We live now, and we must be content now. We have to learn how to hold on to now. And as that happens to us in our lives, a lot of things stop happening. We stop all of the egocentric mind play about what we need, and it lets go of our desire. Desire is a big driving force in the mind. But if you are in the present, and if you are content with the situation that you are in now, what is it that you need? What is it that you want? What is it that you strive for? Happiness is. Contentment is. All of these things, serenity is. And they're all available to us in this moment. They're all available to us right now. And if we don't grab them now, we can't grab them. You can't project that between 2 and 4 on Tuesday, you're going to be serene. You have to do it now. And you have to be able to let go of everything else in order to be able to do it. You know, men and women worry. And worry takes the place of contentment. And a lot of people believe that until they have resolved the things they worry about, they are not going to be able to be content. They are not going to be able to be happy. They're not going to be able to be serene. Well, the mind has a funny way of replacing whatever you resolve with a new worrisome situation. As long as you allow the mind to continue to set up scenarios for you, and you pay attention to these scenarios, they will never end, they will never cease, they will never stop. Only when you locate yourself in the present moment, will these things stop for you? And you will be able to let go of the gnawing and the constant insistence of the egocentric self to somehow do things on your behalf. All of us have a lower self. In Arabic, it's called the nafs, or the nafs amara. And the nafs amara are the animal qualities that look to take care of us in some way, take care of us in a worldly sense, take care of us within the confines of the elemental world, take care of us as to our elemental needs. And what they wish to do is they wish to confine your thought process to these elemental needs, which turn into elemental desires. And as long as you are caught up in somehow trying to satisfy those needs, you can't focus on Allah because you're too busy focusing on the elemental. You're too busy focusing on accumulating things in this world. You're too busy focusing on trying to rectify the difficulties that you encounter as you travel through this world. As long as we're doing that, Satan has us. Satan's whispers are working. Satan's influence is working. Satan doesn't need to get us to commit violent crimes. All he has to do is get us in conversation about the things that we need in this world and the things that we want in this world, and how there is no fulfillment for us until we have those things. And as soon as we have those things, Satan creates new things that we need and then tells us the same story over and over and over. You can't be fulfilled until you have these things. You can't be fulfilled until you get these things. An Arab came to the Prophet and said, Satan is constantly harassing me. He won't let me be. Day and night, he harasses me. Could you talk to him and see what you can do about it? And the Prophet told the man to come back in 3 days. And he called Satan. And he said, so-and-so came to me and said, you harass him all the time. And he asked me to ask you to stop. Why do you harass him all the time? He said, why do I harass him? It's because he has my things. He wants wealth. Wealth in this world is mine. He wants women. Women in this world are mine. He wants mansions and houses and jewels, and all of these things are my things. And he wants them. So I'm constantly with him. So 3 days went by and the Arab came back. And the Prophet said to him, I spoke with Satan. And he said, as long as you want the things of illusion, the things of Satan's realm, Satan will be with you and Satan will be harassing you. Only when you lose your attachment to these things will you lose Satan's attachment to you. So as we are attached to the worldly things, Satan is attached to us. As we give up our longing for worldly things, Satan will move further away from us because he can't grab onto us. We can't be longing for the world and longing for Allah at the same time. We need to decide. We need to decide what is more important in our life. What is at the forefront of our consciousness? What is the reality that will bring us towards satisfaction? There's a song, it was a country song a few years ago, called "Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places." And essentially, that's what man does if man doesn't have a teacher and isn't shown where the right places are. The right place to look for the truth is inside of yourself. Yet everybody looks to find their truth outside of themselves. It's not available outside of yourself. No matter what you accumulate, no matter what you accomplish in this world, it will not bring you to the state of contentment. It will not bring you to the state of peace. It will not bring you to the state of reality. Salam, peace, is one of the names of Allah. Salam also is without form. Salam is formless, just like Allah is formless. And if we think that something in the form is going to bring us peace, we are fundamentally mistaken. We are fundamentally going in an inappropriate direction. The only things that can bring us true peace are non-elemental. And since they're non-elemental, all of this chasing that we do in the world is not going to resolve our need for peace, our lack of peace. And we should be able to conclude this through rationally thinking about it, through rationally understanding it. Peace is not elemental. So we have to contact, be in touch with, integrate with that which is non-elemental to find peace. Yet we think that we can find it somewhere outside in the world. And we can't. And this comes as a great shock to many people, that the truth is that peace has always been with you. You've just been running around too hard to notice it. You've been running around too much to see it. You have been running around too much to come to terms with it. So we have to slow down. We have to slow our pace. We have to slow our activity. We have to become less and less active and more internalized. And in this act of turning inwards, we will open up spheres of reality that we have never seen, never understood, never been cognizant of while we were searching the world. And it's all of it is inside of us, and all of it is available to us, but it takes sitting still to be able to find it. So we have to find time to sit still. We have to find time to be in repose. We have to give ourselves the opportunity to find what's inside of us. Now, you see, everything that is already in here. It's not like we're creating anything. It's not like we're making anything happen. It's already there. This is all about peeling layers. This is all about getting in touch with that which already exists. Allah put a soul inside of each of us. In that soul, peace exists. In that soul, truth exists. In that soul, justice exists. And as we become closer to our true self, we become closer to the truth. We have spent a lifetime creating this egocentric individual who walks around. We've spent a lifetime creating this personality that walks around. And we think of ourselves as this egocentric personality that we've created. We think of ourselves as a doctor or a lawyer or a chemist or a writer or a mother or a father or a grandparent or 1,000 different things. But the truth is, we are not any of those things. And until we have the courage to let go of this personality, we are not going to find reality. Personality and reality don't mesh. Personality is a veil to reality. Personality is a wall to reality. Personality is what keeps us locked in this body and locked in ourselves. So we have to give up the fear of losing this personality. And for a lot of people, that's a very difficult thing to do because it's all they've known. We've spent a whole lifetime with our mind talking to us about who we are and what we are and why we are. And to let go of all of that creates what we think is going to be a void, creates what we think is going to be a great hole that we can't fill, when in truth, as soon as we let go of it, it'll automatically be filled. And it'll be filled with things that are beyond your imagination. But we have to get to the place where we believe there is more than our imagination can possibly think of. As long as we limit ourselves to what we think of, we have limited ourselves to our personality and our mind's ramblings. We have not allowed that which is unfathomable to us to enter into us. So we need to let go in order to get what we want. We have to stop chasing in order to get what we want. We have to stop looking to see what's already been found. We have to envelop a new methodology of going about finding truth and understanding that truth already is within us, and is here to be had. All we have to do is let go of everything that stops the truth from coming forth within our being. And that means letting go of our imagined self, letting go of our personality, surrendering what we've built up all these years. Most people think they've put in too much effort and spent too much time in order to do that. They also believe that there is a certain joy and happiness within this being, and they don't realize that the only joy and happiness that comes is when the being disappears and they enter into that state of bliss, not held back by themselves. This is the nature of truth, and this is the nature of reality. We find what we need right here when we stop the search and allow truth to rise within us. And it rises within us by way of our longing for Allah, by way of our faith in Allah, by way of our determination that Allah is all that is real. As we do that, we become more real. As we do that, we become overwhelmed by all of those non-elemental qualities that are eternal, and we let go of all of the temporary things that we chase. This is the work that we have to begin to do. And we have to explain it to ourselves and to Allah in words. So we need to sit down and say, Allah, I am wrapped up in my personality. Allah, I am wrapped up in my desire. Allah, my mind is constantly chasing the world. Allah, free me of my attachment to all these things. Free me of my attachment to the self that I have created, this illusory self that swims in this world of illusion as if it were real. Free me of my attachment to it. Free me of the attachment that I have to the mind. Free me of my desires for the wealth of this world. And let me understand that the wealth of this world doesn't have any meaning, has no comparison to reality. There is but one truth. There is but one justice. There is but one mercy and one compassion, and that is Allah alone. Allow me to know that. Allow me to feel that. Allow me to create a longing inside of myself for that is greater than my longing for anything else in this illusory world. It is through increasing this longing to know reality that we will be able to cross the ocean of illusion and get to the shore. It is through increasing this longing for Allah that Allah will respond to us and allow us to know Him and to see Him and to become with Him. We need to do this strongly. We need to do this consistently. We need to create a will within us that is in conjunction with the will of the truth. And to do that, it takes surrender. And that's so opposite of what the mind is telling you. In reality, through giving up of all of the action towards the world, all of the action within the world, all of the desire within the world, we begin to make our way towards truth. Surrender is our path. The heart is our path. Love is our path. Kindness is our path. Mercy is our path. Compassion is our path. And all of these are part of Allah. So as we give up the parts of ourselves, we become more like Allah. And as we give up the parts of ourselves, we are replaced with parts of Allah. So imagine, to what little we can, that we don't lose anything when we give up ourselves. We gain Allah. We gain the truth. May Allah allow each of us to gain Him. May Allah allow each of us to know Him. May Allah take each of us to the truth and to that eternal place with Him in His world, in the world of light, which is our true home. May it be so for each of us. May we realize that now, and may we work towards that now, and may we make the movement towards that now. Ameen. Ameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.